The U.S. Surgeon General is now calling for warning labels on social media. This is all to protect kids. Dr. Vivek Murthy is making a push in a new New York Times essay. He says that labels would require congressional action, but it would remind parents and adolescents that social media has not been proven safe. Joining us now to talk about this is John Powers, Associate Professor of Interactive Media and Design at Quinnipiac University. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so curious, what was your first reaction to that op-ed and this warning label push by the Surgeon General today?
I think it's interesting because it seems as if the mental health crisis with our children and social media has come to a head, to the point where now even the Surgeon General has called for warning labels, something that's only been done in the past with alcohol and cigarettes. And all of the other action by Congress and by the executive branch and so forth really haven't produced any results to curb this issue. And so this may be the start of something new.
Yeah, that's the big question. Do you think this will work? You get the idea behind it, the motivation. The Surgeon General has been very vocal about this. Do you think, if enacted, if Congress approves, that this will change the game in terms of warnings?
You know, it'll help, but it certainly isn't going to change, what seems to be a very broad problem across our culture and across much of the world. This is something that comes down to families and parents and just being aware of some of the dangers that simple fun things like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok can lead to some mental health issues in children and in adults also.
So what are the conversations that you've had among your students specifically about social media? What is their take?
I'm teaching grad students mostly, but undergraduate also students who are going into the field where they're going to be producing social media. And so one thing we're trying to do is teach how to be really effective communicators through digital and social media, but also do it in an ethical and a humane way. So we spend some time looking at things like the Center for Humane Technology and some of the other groups out there that are trying to just raise the awareness about the algorithms and how they are there, designed by very, very bright engineers to just grab our attention and keep us there for as long as possible.
And I'm sure you're keeping an eye on any potential federal regulation that may come in, because there has been discussion about regulation.
Well, that's for sure. And obviously we've heard what's happened with TikTok and what's happening with TikTok. And so even this summer in classes, we're talking about, as students produce work, with TikTok being part of their plan to promote their brand or, whatever they're working on, what would they do if TikTok goes away or even just diminishes over the next few years?
All right, interesting conversation. John Powers, Associate Professor of Interactive Media and Design at Quinnipiac. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.